In late 2024 and early 2025, a surprising geopolitical debate captured the world's attention. Former US President Donald Trump, alongside tech tycoon Elon Musk, has expressed interest in buying Greenland from Denmark. This unusual proposal echoed Trump's earlier 2019 offer to buy the island. But Musk's involvement made it much more than a repeat of past ambitions, adding a modern, innovative dimension to the proposal. Is this a purely economic strategy or a transformative geopolitical vision? What does Greenland's strategic importance and natural resources mean for the future of the Arctic? How will Denmark, Greenland, and international powers react to such a bold and controversial proposal? This analysis seeks to understand how such a proposal might affect global balances. It examines the potential to reconfigure international alliances, influence Arctic geopolitics, and redefine the distribution of strategic resources and power among major global players. Greenland is the largest island in the world. It has long been important in global geopolitics due to its strategic position, rich natural resources, and military importance. Located between North America and Europe, the island is vital to both defense and economic interests. During the Cold War, the United States established Thule Air Base in Greenland. This base was crucial for the surveillance of Soviet activities and for the maintenance of a military presence in the Arctic. As a reminder of Greenland's enduring strategic importance, Thule became a cornerstone of the US defense network. It played a key role in early missile detection systems and global surveillance. Today, Greenland's importance has grown even further. Climate change is opening up new shipping routes as the Arctic ice melts. These routes, such as the Northwest Passage, dramatically reduce the time needed to travel between Europe and Asia. The increasing accessibility of the passages could be the beginning of a new chapter in world trade, and Greenland is poised to become an important transit point, with its northern coastline at the center of these changes. This makes the island a crucial hub for the global economy. The retreating ice also makes Greenland's vast mineral wealth more accessible. The island has resources such as rare earths, uranium, and oil. As the world moves towards renewable energy and electric vehicles, these resources will become increasingly valuable. The combination of geographic and resource advantages puts Greenland at the forefront of international attention. Instead, it has become a key geopolitical asset for nations and corporations competing in the Arctic. For decades, the major powers have recognized Greenland's geopolitical importance. Throughout history, controversial land grabs have shaped the politics of the world. The US purchase of Alaska from Russia in 1867 and the annexation of Hawaii in 1898 illustrate the strategic and economic motivations behind such acquisitions. A comparison of these events with the current interest in Greenland is a reminder of the way in which powerful nations have treated territories as commodities. The idea of buying Greenland is not new. In 1946, US President Harry S. Truman proposed buying the island for $100 million in gold. This was shortly after World War II. During the war, the location of Greenland proved to be vital for military operations. Underlining its value beyond theoretical strategy, Greenland served as a transit point for Allied efforts. It was an important waypoint for transatlantic flights and a base for weather monitoring. Both were crucial to the Allied success. During the Cold War, the Truman administration saw Greenland as a buffer against Soviet influence. Although Denmark rejected the offer, it highlighted Greenland's importance as a military asset and as a gateway to untapped Arctic resources. This historical context sets a precedent for the renewed interest in Greenland today. It reflects the continuing global interest in controlling this strategic area. In 2019, President Donald Trump surprised the world with a proposal for the purchase of Greenland from Denmark. Trump claimed the geostrategic significance of Greenland, its resources and location, could greatly increase US influence in the Arctic. The move was seen by many as an attempt to counter the growing presence of Russia and China in the region. Denmark rejected the offer outright, calling it absurd. As a result, Greenland's sovereignty was reaffirmed by the Danish government. However, Trump's renewed interest in 2024 and 2025 suggests that his vision for the island is still alive. And it seems to have been the catalyst for awakening dormant ambitions about Greenland's role in world affairs. Greenland is rich in untapped natural resources. These resources are becoming increasingly critical as global demand for raw materials grows. The island has significant deposits of rare earths, uranium, gold, and oil, all of which are becoming more accessible as the Arctic warms and the ice recedes. Greenland has some of the world's largest deposits of rare earth elements, particularly in the Kvanefjeld region. These minerals are essential for the production of high-tech electronics, batteries, and technologies for renewable energy. Their role in driving the global green economy cannot be overstated. As demand for electric vehicles and green infrastructure grows, Greenland's resources could become vital in the transition to a low-carbon economy. Greenland's offshore oil and gas reserves are significant. Melting ice makes offshore drilling easier. As energy companies seek alternatives to declining reserves in other regions of the world, Greenland's potential becomes even more attractive. These resources could be a prime target for nations concerned about securing their energy supplies. The Arctic becomes a key area of geopolitical competition. Global warming is opening up new shipping lanes and increasing access to Arctic resources. This creates a race between nations to gain control of the region. Every year, the Arctic becomes less a remote frontier and more a focus of international strategy. The US has maintained a military presence in Greenland through the Thule Air Force Base. This base is a key component of the US missile defense system and global surveillance operations. However, Russia is also expanding its military presence in the Arctic. Its government has staked a claim to large parts of the region, which has further intensified the competition. Russia's Arctic strategy is an expression of its determination to secure dominance over this evolving geopolitical landscape. If the US or private entities, such as Elon Musk's companies, were to acquire Greenland, it would shift the strategic balance in the Arctic. Such a move would likely provoke tensions with Russia. The situation would also be closely watched by China, which is increasingly interested in Arctic shipping routes and investment. Apparently, Greenland has the potential to become a technology hub thanks to Elon Musk's ventures. His companies, such as SpaceX and Tesla, focus on innovation in space exploration and renewable energy. And the island's resources could support these industries and drive a technological revolution. Some experts say Musk's ambitions could transform Greenland from a geopolitical flashpoint to a melting pot of futuristic progress. Hypothetical projects in Greenland could include launching rockets in the Arctic or installing renewable energy facilities such as geothermal power plants and wind turbines. Although Musk's alleged opinion on the acquisition of Greenland is largely derived from a few tweets, it is suggested that his vision represents a new form of colonization and that this colonization could be driven by technology and innovation rather than traditional political or military dominance. Such an optimistic vision invites both hope for progress and scrutiny of its ethical implications. In other words, it is believed that Musk's involvement would shift the focus from geopolitics to technological and industrial development. But the question remains, whether this is a transformative opportunity for Greenland or another form of imperialism. If the US or Musk's companies succeed in taking over Greenland, it could set a dangerous precedent for the acquisition of territory. The implications of such a move would extend beyond the Arctic, reshaping global norms of sovereignty. This would encourage other nations to lay claim to Arctic territories. Such a scenario could escalate competition in the region. As a result, a new Arctic race could emerge. Greenland's future could take a number of different paths that are difficult to predict. Nevertheless, some hypothetical scenarios can be outlined as possible. Renewed interest in acquiring Greenland suggests possible escalation of US efforts to integrate territory. This could involve diplomatic negotiations, economic incentives, or, as hinted, more coercive measures. Such actions could strain US-Denmark relations and provoke an international debate on sovereignty and self-determination. In response to external pressure, Greenland may accelerate its efforts to achieve full independence from Denmark. The island's leadership has expressed a desire to strengthen defense and mining ties with the US on its own terms, indicating a move to assert greater control over its affairs. Achieving economic self-sufficiency remains a significant hurdle, given the current reliance on Danish subsidies and a limited economic base. Trump's expansionist rhetoric, including mentions of the Panama Canal and Canada, could lead to heightened geopolitical tensions. International bodies and neighboring nations may become more actively involved in Greenland's affairs to counterbalance US ambitions, which could lead to a complex web of alliances and conflicts. These scenarios underline the delicate balance that Greenland must maintain between harnessing foreign interest for development and safeguarding its sovereignty and cultural identity. The future of Greenland is more than just a question of acquisition or exploitation. It raises critical questions about ethics, the preservation of cultural heritage, and sustainability. At its heart is a challenge. How can powerful nations and corporations balance their interests with the autonomy and well-being of affected people and ecosystems? The Inuit of Greenland have lived for centuries in harmony with the surrounding environment. Their voices invariably must remain at the center of decisions about Greenland's future. Ignoring their agency would undermine their sovereignty. It would repeat a history of colonial disregard for indigenous cultures. The inclusion of these voices ensures a way forward that is respectful of history. Greenland's future should be the result of the active participation of its people and be based on respect for their rights. The environmental stakes are also high. The Arctic is one of the most vulnerable regions to climate change. Greenland's melting ice sheets reflect humanity's impact on the environment. Careless exploitation of its resources risks exacerbating the world's climate crisis. However, by acting with care, Greenland could become a model for sustainable development. As we consider Greenland's role in the modern world, whether as a strategic prize, a resource hub, or a technological frontier, we must remember the wider responsibilities of power. Sovereignty, self-determination, and sustainability are not just abstractions. They are essential for building a humane and just global order. The way we deal with Greenland's challenges today will be a testament to our values for generations to come.